Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick.
Hey everyone, Man of Tamari here with another video, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Silent Night remake. Now, when I first heard about this remake being done, I was a bit concerned. After all, I am a huge fan of the original, which I own here on DVD along with part 2. So, for anyone who is a fan of horror, has seen the original, and if you haven't seen the original, then my guess is you've heard of the controversy behind the original film, which was that when the film was released in 1984, parents found out about the film and they picketed theaters until it was yanked from the theater, and that's how the film is known, and I believe it became a cult classic because of that. Parents were concerned that kids would see the commercials of someone dressed up as Santa Claus and killing people, and in their eyes, Santa Claus is this traditional character that is viewed as good. Kids, that they like Santa Claus, so to do a film in that premise of Santa Claus killing people, it left a bad image in the community. I don't blame the parents who did that, but at the same time, filmmakers have the right to do that. I mean, if they would make a film about Santa killing people, then it can be done. But at the same time, it's not Santa Claus. It's someone dressed as Santa. So I can see it through both, perception. Not perception, point of view. The filmmakers, they're trying to do a film, but at the same time, they're trying to make it clear that it's not Santa Claus. But at the same time, with the parents, they're like, well, this is still Santa, so you shouldn't mess with Christmas and Santa Claus, all that. But getting into this review, in my eyes, I didn't see any reason for there to be a remake. I mean, I didn't write it off saying I wasn't going to see it. I looked into the making of the film, who was going to star in it, what was the plot going to be, and I noticed that Malcolm McDowell was attached to the film, and Jaime King. I'm a fan of both of their work. I've seen Malcolm McDowell from the Halloween franchise, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. I've seen Jaime King in a number of other films, one being another holiday slasher by the name of My Bloody Valentine. And she was also in another holiday, if you can call it a holiday, Mother's Day. So I've enjoyed her work, and she plays a deputy in this film who is not very confident in her skills as a cop, but at the same time, she wants to prove herself as a police officer. The killer in this film is left to be a mystery. Unlike in the original where we follow the life of the person who ends up becoming the killer Santa, here it's completely unknown. The person who dresses up as Santa Claus starts right away off with the killing spree. There are a few nods to the old franchise, which I enjoyed, being the first kill being with Christmas lights, though it was done differently than in the original. But the other kill which involved deer antlers. That was a direct, homage to the original, because the kill is exactly the same way as it was in the 1984 film. And the third nod, which was my favorite, and you can't do a remake without including the infamous line from Part 2 being Garbage Day, though it was delivered differently, which I found humorous. In the film, one of the victims from the police department, he's taking out the trash, and Malcolm McDowell's character tells him, before you leave, go take out the garbage, will you? And as he's walking out of the police precinct, he's carrying the 2 trash bags, and he's saying out loud, what is this, Garbage Day? I couldn't help but smile at that, because anyone who's heard of Part 2 or seen it, they know that line, that infamous Garbage Day, which I love. It's got a few interesting kills in this remake. They're definitely gory, but there is one kill in this remake that, in my honest opinion here, was hard to watch. Okay, and that was a kill that involved with a wood chipper. It was pretty graphic, to say the least. How the scene went, and it was very good in detail, in my opinion. Here, it added a lot of tension, a bit of cringing when I first saw it. It was hard to watch, like I said. What led to it was the victim, who I don't know if she was a porn star or a model that was doing amateur porn. It wasn't, a pornography scene. I mean, because when you think of that, no. It was a photo shoot, and the guy in charge, he was taking photos, and naturally, she takes her top off, and a few more kills happen. She escapes. I don't know how she survived the fall when she left the hotel room. I believe the grass broke her fall. I'll have to go back and watch the scene, but when she got up, she headed toward an area that had Christmas trees up for sale and a wood chipper in the middle. She goes past the wood chipper, and she's knocking on doors, asking people for help. Nobody answers. Then the wood chipper turns on, and at that moment I'm thinking to myself, okay, do the smart thing. Leave. Don't go toward it. Okay, just go toward the street, leave. No, she doesn't do that. She goes toward the wood chipper. And I'm thinking to myself, why? It's the typical cliche. They do the stupid thing. You're yelling at the TV or the screen, going, "Don't go in that direction." Something's going to happen. Because I honestly cared about the character, given the fact he is naughty for doing the line of work that she did. But I still wanted the character to live, so I'm going to myself, I'm thinking to myself, don't go in that direction. Something awful is going to happen to you. And she's peering around the corner, and as she turns to walk away or make her escape, Santa comes out of nowhere, chops off the lower part of her leg, and it shows a good bit of special effect from her point of view, of blood gushing out. She tries to escape, by crawling away. Doesn't work. The killer picks her up, and it's at this point at the kill, it becomes more elaborate, and the point where I was saying before, hard to watch, because he lowers her in there, and it shows a point of view shot of her back where she's hanging in there, and you get the visualization that she's really in there. And he's lowering her in there, and it shows her from the front point of view, and the chewing, from the motor, or not the motor, the blades, and long faraway shot of the wood chipper and her body, standing out of the end. My guess is that was likely a prop, because we all know that a horror film is not going to do a real kill, because the people in charge, they'd be going straight to jail if they did that. So you see the effect of her body sticking out the wood chipper, the gore shooting out, and her crying out for help, and the menacing music. And it was a very graphic scene from start to finish, and I'm not entirely sure if I would be able to watch that scene again. It's a miracle that I actually watched it from start to finish in that kill, but aside from that, it's an interesting film, but I was scratching my head near the end, because the killer is revealed, but spoiler alert here, he gets away, and the only way I can think of that is that maybe they've got a sequel planned. And if that's the case, then my main nitpick being, how exactly did this killer know, who to target? Because it has an explanation near the finale of how this person is targeting these people. But it still leaves the question of, well, how did he know who they were, that they were bad? There's no real backstory. And there's only one kill, which was off screen, that pretty much it explains part of his goal of targeting these people. I won't spoil it for anyone, because it's an interesting twist. And overall, the film, it's a good remake in my opinion, despite the small nitpick there that there's no elaborate explanation of the killer and what led to him dressing up as a Santa Claus and killing people. But here's hoping that they do make a sequel, and if the sequel is actually done, they go into the backstory of the killer. But if I had to get this a rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I liked it, though in my honest opinion, it's nowhere near as good as the original. And highly recommend anyone that loves the original to check this out. If you don't want to buy it, I believe it's available at the local Redbox to rent for $1. To give it a chance. This pretty much wraps up my review. And for anyone watching this, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Feel free to rate and comment. If you've seen this film, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And until next time, catch you later.